this is Tracy from BackstageAxxess.com, and we are here at the beautiful Willow Creek Winery. Have to be sure to say that right because it's a tongue twister, especially if you've had some of this fine stuff on the wall here. We are here with Derek St. Holmes, former lead singer of Ted Nugent's band, and welcome to the Willow Creek Winery.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's beautiful out here. Beautiful.
Minus the little thunderstorm we had a minute ago.
Yeah, and that too. But it is Buffalo.
Now, we get a bad rap. Why do you say that? Explain.
Well, now, I was born in Detroit, so Buffalo and Detroit are almost on the same latitude. So we would never plan outings and picnics because, you just never know. It changes, doesn't it? Yeah. It did today, didn't it? But you know what? The sun's coming out, and it's going to be a wonderful gig.
Good. Excellent. Positive attitude. That's what we like here. Right? And if you don't have a positive attitude, there's plenty of things here that will give you a positive attitude.
Yeah, it can alter your attitude right here. We're going to start on that quickly after this interview, so...
Although you left Nugent's band in the early or late 70s, you did rejoin with him for a project called Spirit of the Wild.
Yes, I did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That was a lot of fun. We had a chance to, Ted brought in a friend of his on bass from Brownsville Station. Gosh, I can't remember everybody's name, probably because of the vino. But it's not true. Michael Lutz used to be in Brownsville Station, that's Smoking in the Boys Room. Friend of Ted, so Ted brought him as producer and bass player, and I brought in Denny Carmassi from Heart to play drums, also the same drummer that was with Ronnie Montrose and all those things. So we had a really good time cutting some pretty powerful stuff, we thought. But I don't know, that album didn't fare as well as I thought it would have, but maybe it's just me. I enjoyed recording it, but yeah.
Now, you've recently re-recorded some Aerosmith songs. Is that that's a project that's in the works, or what's happening?
That was a project that happened a couple of years ago, and they asked me to. They were doing a tribute, so I just picked a couple songs and did a couple of those, and it was fun. I don't know if Steven's ever heard them, but if he did, he'd probably come and beat me up or something. But.
If you can get it off the stage without falling first, all right. All right, no comment. We can edit that one out. Now, you're also singing with in Paul Reed Smith's band, and for those of you who don't know, Paul Reed Smith is a famous guitar maker.
Yes, he's one of the top. Well, not handmade, but factory-made by hand guitars in the world, and he's like number 3. But yeah, I play in his band. Great guy, great group of people. Did you get a chance to hear that?
I did not.
Okay. You can go online and you can listen to that album. It's called the Paul Reed Smith Band. But yeah, that was fun. And like this thing today, I'm playing with like 2 or 3 different classic rock vocalist bands, which is pretty cool. That's been a lot of fun, getting a chance to play with people that I always admired, but you couldn't really play together because they were in the other band. So now we're all in the same band. It's pretty cool. That's a lot of fun.
How did this collaboration come about?
A friend of a friend called me and said, hey, Jimmy Jamison's going to be up there. Do you want to come up as well and play? And I said, yeah, I would love to. But I've played with Jimmy before in the Voices of Classic Rock and the Voices of Classic Rock Radio and the Classic Rock Voices of blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I mean, there's a million of them, right? But like I said, it's just fun to get together with all these guys. This is the first time I've had a chance to see and be with Fran. I'm really excited about that. So it's very cool.
Back to Paul Reed Smith again. Now, seeing you're playing with him, are you using his fine instruments?
Yeah. Yeah.
No signature series?
No, I do. No, you know what? It's probably in the works. When he finally figures out how good and famous I am, he'll give me my own guitar. It'll probably be this big or something. But no, I don't. I've gotten plenty of his guitars, but he knows that when I was little and I'd walk into a music store and I didn't have any money and I looked up on the wall, I would be staring at a Gibson Les Paul. And he goes, I know. And I said, but all the younger kids and all the new generation, they see a PRS as the way I viewed a Gibson Les Paul. So, I'm not going to make or break his business. But I use his amplifiers.
Speaking of your gear, what other prized possessions?
I use the PRS original Sewell 50-watt amp head and the 212 PRS cabinet. And I use Boss pedals And I use just Les Pauls, Gibson Les Pauls, and chords to connect them all. And
Well, you touched on your early years a little. How did you get into music? What inspired you to pick up a guitar?
first I saw Elvis on the Ed Sullivan Show, and anybody that knows who the Ed Sullivan Show is either my age or older. So I saw him shaking his booty on Ed Sullivan Show, and I went, man, those girls are going crazy. That's the job I want. And that's pretty much it. And then I had a chance to see, I think my first concert was the Supremes and a band from Detroit called Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. And I was hooked. I just went, wow. And then I saw the Stones and everybody. And so that's how I started when I was 11. I'm 57 now and still rocking and rolling, I feel like I'm 15,
You look great.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Was there a lot of rhythm and blues influence early
Yeah,
on?
you know what? My dad was big into rhythm and blues, and he would buy me Chuck Berry and B.B. King and Boots Randolph and Elmer James records, and I kind of started to get tuned into that stuff, and I dug it early on. So I can appreciate guys like Eric Clapton going back and paying homage to all that and bringing it around. If it wasn't for Eric, that, everybody would still be going, the blues. I remember that. But yeah, I dug it too, and I still do. Well, probably a lot of us will end up there. I'm slowly but surely trying to figure out how I can metamorphosize into a larger scale blues band, with horns and stuff, and take that around. So I think everybody pretty much in rock and roll kind of sometimes ends up much more bluesy.
Do you use different gear for live on stage as opposed to in the studio?
Yeah, I think so, because live on stage, I use that PRS amp. In the studio, we use Marshall cabs, the PRS, little Silvertones, Silvertone amps, and we even use a JC 120 Roland chorus amp, and we try to use everything we can for the sound. A lot of old Fenders and things like that. So, and we have a bunch of the amps like that. Between my guitar buddy Daniel Wentworth and myself, we have just about all that stuff. So,
Now you sing as well as play guitar. Do you have a preference, one over the other?
if I had to pick one of the two, I would probably, I'd probably sing, I guess.
Tell us a little bit about the Derek St. Holmes University.
Well, the Derek St. Holmes University is usually out of whatever city I'm in, because now it's just moved from the Baltimore area to the Nashville area, but it's just getting kids to come and teaching them how to be in a band and teaching them how to work with other people so they can collaborate and get together. And sometimes I teach vocals, and sometimes I teach guitar, and sometimes it's image consulting, how to dress, how to look. And yeah, I think some people need it,
Have you worked with any upcoming bands?
Let's see, who have I worked with lately? I worked with this band that I just did an album with, Daniel Wentworth Band, helping them get it together. And I was asked last week to help, what's the girl from Hole?
Courtney Love?
Yeah, she came into town and she was looking for a vocal coach. And they said, well, Derek, would you be her would you be the vocal coach? Because they're looking for one. And I said, yeah. And they said, how much do you want? And I said, a high figure, just in case she's, some trouble. No, she's not trouble. Of course not. So I guess they got back to her and she went, no, it's just too much money. And I thought, you know what? If I was going to go in and work with Courtney Love, would I teach her? She's going to carry on for years to come. So I think the price was fair.
Yeah. Actually, we just went to see her in Toronto last
How was
week.
she?
Amazing. I have to say, I'm a little biased because I do like her, but
Yeah.
I had read so many horrible reviews and I was scared because I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be a 3-hour wait. She's going to come on all trash and train wreck. She was just spot on. The vocals were great. She no, in between song nonsense, and just right to the point and belted them out, and it was great. It was really good.
I think her days of the nonsense stuff are
Let's
over.
hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope so, 'cause it's a shame.
It happens to everybody, Everybody goes through that.
Tell us about that. Now, you've been in the business for such a long time. How did you or did not survived through that?
I got pretty crazy in the 70s, and then kind of coming out, starting into the 80s, you know, I started to go, you know, now I got a family and I got kids, and all that craziness has to stop. You know, I just can't be up. And I remember one time being out a little bit too late, and this is when I had my first child, my daughter, and I think she was 2 years old. Oh, yeah, and she came up to me and tried to get me to get out of bed to just play with her. And I was drunk from the night before, and I went, oh my gosh, you know, she felt so bad when she walked out that Daddy wouldn't get up. I just said, I'll never do that again, you know. And I stopped drinking for 15 years.
Good for you. Good for you.
Started back, you know. No, I just
Yeah, and where are we with 45 bottles of wine on the wall behind us?
No, yeah, well, you know what? And honestly, in this business, when you first start out, you get a lot of demons. You know, you're afraid about the business, and you're afraid about this aspect and that, and you know, this stuff starts to travel with you all the time. And then you're playing with people that don't appreciate you, and some of them do. And then you know, you're up and down with the highs and lows of you know, accolades. It's just hard. So I just, I finally got rid of all the demons I had. So, I mean, it's nothing for me to start drinking all these bottles right here. I'll be fine.
Okay. Well, you did play with Ted for such a long time, and he's an avid, you know, anti-alcohol, you know. So how did that pan out?
Well, he was never crazy about us drinking ever anyway. But, you know, it didn't pan out. I quit. No. We had a big fight, big boom, boom, boom in Passaic, New Jersey. And it's funny because when he and I talk about it, he remembers the story completely different from what I do. But it's funny, yeah. We talked about it today on the bus. You know, when you're with the same guys for 5 to 6 years, day in and day out, pretty soon you can't stand the way the guy combs his hair. You don't like the way he breathes. You know, or you just go, he's looking at me. So it gets tough. You have to know when to take a break so you can enjoy each other again.
But you're friends now, right?
Oh, absolutely. No, he's the greatest. And I played with him last week. Played with him the week before, and I'm getting ready to go out and do, I think in a day or two I'm going to go to Cleveland and play with him. Don't hold me to that because I think I am. But I will play with him in 3 or 4 of the dates in Los Angeles. And probably Detroit. And so it's fun. It's old home week going to see him, so.
Name 1 or 2 songs that are probably your favorite that you never get sick of playing.
Just What the Doctor Ordered is one of my favorite songs. I co-wrote it. I didn't get any writer's credit. I'm saying it now.
You heard it first here, Backstage Access.
Now. And of course I like Hey Baby. That was the first one that, it was his first hit, so that was pretty cool. Because they swore up and down. His producer was not crazy about me. He swore up and down. He kept telling me, because he's going, you know what? I don't know if that song's going to make the album or not. And I went, okay. Well, I get a call 3 weeks later. Hey, the first single they picked for the album is Hey Baby. And I thought, yes. Yes. So, but yeah, those are some of my favorites. And one of his old ones, Journey to the Center of the Mind. I wasn't a part of that, but it's fun to play that one. So.
Well, what can fans expect from you tonight?
Soggy, wet, mid to cloudy.
Quite a light show. Things go wrong, right?
I think we're going to do Hey Baby, Stranglehold, Just What the Doctor Ordered. Cat Scratch Fever, probably. I don't normally sing that one, but people like it, and it's fun to play it. And I just like to make people feel good, so, I mean, that's why I got in this business. The money would be nice, too. But it's, you know, I started out just making people happy and having fun, and I've been doing this for, gosh, over 39 years, and I still feel the same way. I love it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a great mantra to have.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, Derek, thank you very much for taking the time to sit down with us today. We'll see you out there tonight, and stay dry and keep the hat on because it's probably going to be a little damp. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, first somehow I got it all just in its own.